Okay, let's begin then. All right. So you guys are all on roll 20 except for Scott, which I'll just have him look at my screen. There's no spoilers over here. So I think last we left off, you guys just left Fuze. He told you a general direction of where to go to find the jeweler. What all were you trying to sell to jewelers? I forget. I'm gonna write it down so I can actually remind you guys later. Who has that list?
We had a signet ring,
Okay.
a rose quartz amulet,
Rose quartz. Ooh.
an urn necklace, and a gold locket.
And Joey's virginity.
Classic.
That's priceless, man.
Let me double check the book real quick for the prices for these, because they actually have some set prices. So I can get these. I didn't know what they were, so I couldn't look them up earlier.
I should just sell my virginity to the highest bidder.
Hey, get that money, man.
8 so.
Okay. Rose quartz amulet. Cigarette ring. Do you guys still have those thieves' tools?
Yeah.
What?
You have those
I
thieves'
was gonna
tools?
say, I think I gave him to Hip.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where is all these at? Got another one. I could just make this up, but I feel like this is balanced as a price. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Sorry, I should have prepped this ahead of time. It's my bad.
It's all good.
Urn. I'm having trouble finding the urn necklace. I don't remember where you guys found that.
It was way early in the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it up. Who cares?
Like super early.
Yeah.
Like I want to say it was the glob.
Oh man, that blob. The blob of death?
Yeah, glob of death.
It's a classic blob. I love that. Okay. So when you guys check off or trek off to where we're heading, am I echoing off Scott?
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Dang it. Well, I'm recording this, so it's just gonna like echo throughout. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna have to deal with it. So, can everyone roll a perception check for me real quick as you leave? There's a plug-in over by Jared, Scott, on the couch. If you want to go over there. Oh my dear God, your guys' perceptions are so high. This is unbelievable. Attaboy, Jared.
Someone's
Keeping it
isn't.
real. Keeping it real. That's what I like to see.
Hey!
Jared went blind for 2 seconds.
Joey, did you roll twice?
Oh, why did I roll What?
Cheater.
I didn't even see
Guess
the
what
17
doesn't
pop
count?
up. All I saw was a 20 pop up, and I got excited.
You rolled a 17 first.
Me.
Yeah.
Sounds like a true elf to me.
Scott,
That's
Scott,
so
what'd you roll?
depressing. I felt like 20.
Hallucination or something.
14.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, we got a freaking 28 and a 26, so that's pretty high. Okay, so as you guys are walking away, Orok and Upip hear this faint sound of repeating explosions just kind of going off in the background. So Fuze is lighting some stuff up in his house.
You Pip, you hear that?
Yeah. Actually.
It just more like, and then like a few seconds later you hear another. So he must be testing something. You don't see any smoke or anything though, so. Okay.
Just uses that as old tricks again.
Classic Fuze. Alright, so you guys are actually heading to a special place in Trunau called the Barter Stones. This is like the marketplace of Trunau. It's actually just outside the city walls. So I should stop clicking this pen. It's gonna be bad. So just outside the city walls, there's a bunch of open markets. It's where farmers come and sell their goods. You know, just classic open market essentially. And when you come up to that, you see this extravagant, like cylindrical canopy tent looking thing that's got a bunch of like diamonds and stuff drawn on the side. So
Can I roll a perception check?
yeah, of course. All right, 17. What specifically are you looking for?
Just to see the validity of the jeweler. Well,
Validity, like.
Like, is it plated? Is he kind of like just a scammer? Like,
Oh, just trying to see if it's like the actual jeweler, not just some scam.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, look,
Check.
you see quite a few people selling gems and stuff, but this place seems different. Like there's nobody out front selling anything. It's just you just see the gems. It almost looks like somebody who's like like the crystal ball, like fortune teller kind of people. But it's got like diamonds and stuff on it, so it's very unusual.
Okay. Hey guys, I don't know how I feel about it.
Go ahead.
It just seems peculiar. I think we should keep a sharp eye.
I got names. Detect magic.
Detect magic. Do you want to use detect magic?
Yeah.
All right, that's one of your 0 level spells, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what's the radius on that? 60 feet, something like that. I wrote it down.
Yes. 60 feet.
I'm scared that I have that memorized. Okay, so you guys are like just outside. So if you are looking at roll 20, I have all your characters on the left side over there. You see that?
Yeah.
I can't scroll down any lower, so otherwise I'll put you out front. But essentially, you see this round canopy, and out front it's got like a balcony, like a not really a balcony. What's the term?
Like
an
an
overhang.
awning.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like more shade because we're right out in the open. You hear a bunch of people like yelling about, selling things. So Kabor casts detect magic, and this place is lighting up, but not a whole lot. You can sense there's some magic nearby, but it's faint and weak. Nothing crazy. So there's no like visual shenanigans. No one's trying to trick you thinking that a piece of coal is a gem. It's very minute, but you do detect some magic. All right, so you guys, I have you.
Does Kabor relay that to?
Yeah,
Group?
yeah.
Okay.
We're just gonna assume so, unless he says otherwise.
Okay.
It'll just make it easier. So I have you guys in your standard walking order here. So I have Auroch and Valinar up front. Yapip and Kabor in the middle because they're the weakest in terms of like just health.
Oh.
And then I have Locknolly and Kasha in the back. Is like the back guard. So I'm just kind of relating this for Scott since he can't see it. Can you see Jared's screen, Scott? Your voice is dead? Like your Discord? Can you hear us? It says you're in the room still. I can move you and back again. Hold on.
He's in the Minecraft.
Alright, there. I moved him and moved him back. Alright, well. This is going just so well.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I can see yours, Jeff.
Okay. As long as you can see one of them. Like, I have nothing secret over here, so you're fine. All my secret stuff's written down in notes.
Hey, Locknolly.
Yes.
Since this is more of your speed, why don't you just keep a sharp eye about you, okay?
Alright. Yeah, he is a dwarf, so he would,
You would know.
yeah. gems are all the rage for dwarves. They're kind of greedy. Although you're not the greediest of the dwarf type.
He's just
I'm
drunk.
not a gem expert.
Right.
Not yet.
Okay, so do you guys want to like proceed to the awning, or do you guys want to go inside? You can see like a little parting of the tent flaps right here. That kind of drew in.
Well, if Kabor is not detecting any magic, I say.
He is detecting magic. It's just faint.
Then I say we go inside. It seems harmless.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll move you all in there. Do you guys care what order you're in, really?
Not really.
Okay, then I'm just gonna.
I would like to be third.
Okay. All right, there we go. Look at this. Beautiful. All right, so when you guys walk in, it's very dark and dingy, and there's like you can't really see a whole lot, so you almost think that there's no one there. But
I can see in low light though.
yeah, but all of a sudden you hear this like snap of fingers, and the place just lights up. And somebody want to roll a perception check for me, or anybody can.
Everybody.
Lockdown, what'd you get since you're...
15.
Okay.
Woo!
So our highest one is what, an 18?
Yes.
That's good enough. So you see above you that there's like floating lights above you. I think Jared has a +9 to his perception, so that's a 16. So there's like floating lights above you, so...
Is it like a candelabra?
There's like, it's not like any candles, it's just like light, like a orb of light just lighting the place up.
I guess a light spell.
Yes, precisely.
Okay.
So that might be what Jared was detecting with the light magic, with the detect magic. And as soon as you do that, just like right in front of you behind the counter, you see a woman. She's human. She's pretty tall. She's got really long blonde hair that sparkles, almost as if there's diamonds in it. And she's wearing this cloak that's purple, and she has her hood down, but she does have a hood. And all along her cloak are silver sparkles, so she's very, very shimmery.
Looking pretty fresh.
And she looks at you very sternly. Her eyes are very sharp. She's got very cold eyes.
They happen to be at all.
They're not glowing, but they
Who's she
are
glaring at?
purple.
Who's she glaring at first?
Who's right in front of her? So I guess Valinar and Lochnaly, since they're right in the middle.
So
The
can I roll
bodies
sense
with the
motive?
bodies.
Yeah, you can roll a sense motive. She hasn't said anything.
Can I introduce myself to her?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have her say something, but I'm gonna have Andrew roll first. Solid. Yeah, she seems to be there because it's
You
her
notice
place.
that she has boobs.
All right, she kind of glares at all of you for a second. And she's like, "Hello, how may I help you?"
Joey?
I'm not the one with the selling stuff.
Guess we could introduce ourselves and not start out how we did with names. My name is Valinar. I'm an elf, and we've just recently come to your town here.
Oh, this is not my town. By the way, my name's Dia.
It's nice to meet you, Dia.
Likewise. Who are your compatriots?
Believe you guys can introduce yourselves.
I can't.
You can't, Joseph? Is that what you said?
Oh, maybe not.
All right, so Jared's signing that he introduces himself. So, Jared, you introduce yourself. She looks at you, Jared, for... She kind of looks at you like does almost like a double take. Like, she senses something's
Jared gives her the
different.
sexy eye.
The sexy nod? The suck, bro? She just kind of looks at him and she's like, "It's very nice to meet you."
I bet
Must
it
have
is.
a knee knocker.
Does everyone else introduce themselves?
Yeah. Can I ask her if I'm allowed to have my opinion?
Sure.
Can I have my animal companion in here? Is that okay?
She seems tame enough. Do you have good control of her?
Yes.
Maybe.
She kind of gives you like a glare, and she's like, "Have her wait outside. I have a water station set up for her. I think she'll be much more comfortable out there."
Will do.
So
Later on,
we'll move
tell us
Kasha
that.
out here. This is now the most intimidating looking tent, as there's a tiger outside this tent just guarding it.
A blue Maltese tiger.
Yeah. All right, Scott, you introduce yourself.
I give an introduction of my name in an ancient language and bow to her.
She gently nods back to you and she says, "Greetings. It's very nice to meet you." And then she kind of like
Suck up.
she kind of like stops and stares for a second. And she's like, "You guys took longer than I was anticipating. I have been waiting for you."
Why were you waiting for us?
Well, let's see. And she pulls out a little box, a little wooden box, and it's got a bunch of intricate drawings that you don't really understand on it. So I'm gonna draw it here. Where's Brown? Here we go. Darcy, stop whining.
So I've been snacking.
Okay, so here's this little wooden box. And she sets her hands atop it and kind of like clasps her hands like she's almost like, you know, like the praying hands interlocked together. Just kind of gently rests her arms on it. She's like, "Before I open this, I believe you guys wanted to see me. I knew you were coming, so this can wait. What do you want to see me about?"
Wait, where's the box?
It's on. So right here is this. This is like a
It's like a counter.
yeah, counter that goes all the way across, and then
I see.
on the right side, like that's where it like flips up. It's like a little like bar counter, and you can't really see anything. It's all wood, and it looks very pristine. Like she keeps very good care of it, which is kind of odd since this is a tent that moves around, most likely. So it's very interesting that she keeps it in such pristine condition. So she's just kind of sitting there. What are you rolling for?
Is it like orcish?
The wood?
Yeah, there's the carvings on there. Is it an orcish?
Oh, like on the box?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's not an orcish. What kind of check was that? Just a perception check? Linguistics? That would technically be linguistics. Do you have linguistics?
I do.
Do you have a bonus to that?
I do not.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a 4 bonus to linguistics.
Do you want to roll?
Yeah, I can
I
roll.
have a 0 bonus, but I'll still roll for it.
Sure.
18.
All right. So, Locknally, you notice that these are dwarven runes. So she has dwarven runes carved into this box all over the place in different directions. Which is interesting, because like I said, she's a human.
That would make sense, though. If you shared that.
Alright, so she asked you if you wanted to present her with anything, so are you guys going to present her with some things?
Present her with this D.
God! Get outside.
Valinor, can you show her our wares?
We found
Really, she has a
certain.
thing for dwarfs.
We found certain amulets as we were in various adventures before we met you here today. And we
Oh,
were
I'm well
wondering-
aware.
Very interesting. We were wondering how much they might be of value if you don't already know what they are.
I do not know what they are, but I would love to look at them. And
Well-
do you handing her all 4 of them?
Yeah.
So we got a signet ring.
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah. We'll just lay them on the counter.
Okay. So we have a signet ring, a rose quartz amulet, an urn necklace, and a gold locket. Is that everything? Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So she closely, like very nimbly, picks up each individual item and closely inspects it, giving like a very keen eye. But she stares at each one intensely for like 30 seconds, just studying it very precisely. Her fingers are very, very graceful as she moves around, almost elf-like. But she's not even half elf. She's pure human. But she's very, very, very nimble with her fingers. And she kind of analyzes all of them. And after a while, she sets them all out in front of you. And it's like, I will take the lot for 150 gold pieces.
Lock
All
Nally,
four
that
of them?
seems low.
All 4 of them.
Lock Nally, that seems low.
I would agree that seems a little low. Just a question. Could I appraise something and then...
Yeah, then you'll find out it's maximum value.
That's what I'll find out? Or that's what I roll to find out?
Yeah, you roll appraise, and then I'll tell you what they're worth. If you roll low, it's not going to be as accurate as if you roll high.
I will roll an appraisal check. 19.
Ooh, okay. So you know that together they're worth 225 gold pieces at max value. So if you were like, if you had like 100% barter skill, it would be 225.
Okay, can I roll a diplomacy and offer 200?
Sure, that sounds great. What do you say to her?
Hold on. My diplomacy is 19.
Okay.
Just being in the background that I've been I come from a trader's world, I'm from my hometown, and I know that the approximate value is close to 250 gold pieces. I know that we've been traveling, so could we compromise on 200 gold pieces?
She smiles very wryly, and she's like, "Oh, I see. A dwarf who knows his stuff. I underestimated you. I will settle for 175 gold pieces."
Valnar, what do you think of her offer?
Do these things have any value that we know of?
No, I mean they're just random trinkets. You guys checked for magic on them, and none of them are magical or anything.
Oh.
I have no attachment than you.
I mean, we can ask her if there's any that she in particularly values more than the other, and then just keep the ones that she doesn't value.
Alright, so as she sees you guys squabbling, she kind of just like taps her fingers gently. She's like, "How about this? Let's play a game. If you guys succeed, then I will pay you the full 225 gold pieces. But if you fail, I will only give you 50 gold pieces. Are you interested?"
No. Stick at 175. Your value.
What's our gold pieces right now?
I know we have.
I don't know.
Joey, what's our income right now, or what is our situation?
Your group gold?
What's the bank look like?
We have. Let's see. We got this up.
Sounds like I should have gave the dwarf this job.
Fuck.
Why did
How much do we have?
I did like half math. Like I put math here, but never finished it. Like 550 minus 200 equals, but never finished. So we have 350 plus 88.
Gold?
Yeah.
Alright, so you have 433. Or 431.
And then
I see.
we have 155 silver and 55 copper. Whatever.
I say we take the chance.
Yeah, let's be in them, guys.
Let's do it.
For an extra 50 gold, we're willing to get rid of.
We're gonna find other
200.
Sounds like a gnome not to have a spine.
I'm making a good value here. I got a big adventure ahead.
Alright, so she's listening to your clamor, and she's like, "I'll tell you what. If you guys lose, I will give this young gnome boy here the full 225, and the rest of you get nothing."
Deal. We'll take it.
She has this huge smile on her face, and she's like, "Excellent. Let's begin."
Typical druid.
All right, so she holds out her hand, and inside you see a red gem. Okay, it's like a deep red. She holds it out in her hand, and she starts with Pip over here on the left side of my screen here. She holds out this red gem, and she says, "Take this from my hand." So go ahead and roll a dexterity check for me, please.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna roll.
Where the fuck is dexterity?
It's your primary skill, so you just add your modifier. You can also, if you have sleight of hand, you can roll that too. That would work. But I didn't take you as a sleight of hand kind of person. So you can use sleight of hand or your dexterity bonus. Your choice.
So I just have to take that from her.
Yeah, so you're just gonna roll a check, and then I'm gonna roll a check, and if your check's higher than mine, then you win. It's that simple.
It doesn't matter. You win either way.
That's true, but I was trying
If
to
you
think.
lose, you win. If we win,
Why
I
did
mean, you still kind of win.
Yeah, mine rolled twice as well.
Interesting.
You're both
Well,
cheating.
I'm just gonna take the first number every time. So sorry for your 19 that's getting lost. But what's your modifier?
+1.
So 12. All right. So you reach out to grab it, and she whisks it away way before you even get remotely close. Like her hand was rock solid until you started moving, and then she just boom, took it away, gone. She's like, "Oh, good try. I see you're not as quick as you look." And then she slides over to the next person.
I'm just trying to get full gold.
Ah, silly no.
She gives you a little wink as she moves over to the next person,
Silly gnome, that's what you get.
which I believe is Locknolly. So Locknolly, would you roll either a sleight of hand or a dexterity check for me, please?
Fuck, dude, my God.
Dwarves are known for their nimble.
Ask her if she'll take a nice pounding instead. 16.
All right.
And I don't have any modifiers.
Okay. So you reach out your hand, and she again very briskly takes it back. You're not even close. All right.
Wait, are you rolling?
All right. So next is
Oh.
All right. Next is Valinar.
I'd say it's up.
So go ahead and roll.
I'm more nimble than Valnar. Fuck.
Do you have any modifiers? Are you using sleight of hand or dexterity? I'm assuming dexterity, since I don't think you have sleight of hand.
Yeah.
What's your dex mod?
Dex mod is just 1.
All right, so 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you just start moving your hand and it's already gone. Like you're the worst so far.
But
Yeah, that
can we
makes
add
sense.
something to that? Can we add something that she pulls her hand back and still is able to smack him before he even like tap on the face?
No, she's not aggressive.
Like pulls the hand back.
All right. She like does this little light chuckle, like but not like that weird sounding. I can't do it since my voice is too deep. But she just kind of chuckles like that was just so embarrassing that made her day essentially. And then she moves over to Orok and again hands her hand out.
10.
Okay. So same thing as before, not even close. And then she has like a more hearty laugh this time. She's like, and she kind of stares at you, and she's like, half orcs, always slow. And then she slides over to
I
Kabor.
just wink at. I'll wink at her.
Sure, she gives you a huge wink back. She loves it. She loves the banter. All right, now she's over here. I should have been moving this. Moves over here to Kabor. I saw you guys were doing a little scheming over here. You got to read that to me because I can't.
Or probably ignites her with 1,000.
Prestidigitation?
Yeah,
Okay, what's he gonna do with prestidigitation?
you're gonna lift it.
Lift it up out of her hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it weighs less than a pound. Okay.
Yeah.
So she reaches out her hand, and you're gonna cast prestidigitation to lift the gem out of her hand.
Yeah.
All right. So as you cast it to lift it up out of her hand, She wipes her hand up and grabs it in midair before you can even grab it back. Go ahead and roll, but she's gonna guaranteed beat you.
It's a perception to count. Is that just countering?
Yeah, like if someone sees like something like a false object, you can roll perception to counter it. Yeah, I rolled a nat 20 on this, so. So you start to raise it up, and you reach out to grab it, and she still snags it and brings it back to her hand. And she looks at you with a scowl, and she's like, "Oh, I see how it is." And then she sits for a second, and all of a sudden, she drops it right onto the cabinet there. So roll a another dexterity check.
Jared or all?
Just Jared. What's his dex mod? +0? +1?
No.
Oh lord! All right. So even with that natty 1, you go to reach out and grab it, and you guys touch it at like the same time. Like it was such a recoil from something that happened. So you guys both have it, like just very loosely in your grasp. It's not a very big stone. So you guys both have like a finger on it. It's like it's kind of stuck between the two.
Your eyes.
Yeah. She just stares at you.
Instant romance.
And she looks at you and she says, "I understand a playful joke, but hurting me, that was unnecessary."
Jared.
Boy, come on, we're guessing.
All right, so are you acting
What the hell,
confused? All right, so she kind of notices the confusion on your face, and she's like, "Was it not you who turned it molten hot?" All right, so you tell her no. She kind
I would say yes.
She kind of stares at you for a second longer, and she looks down at the stone, which is now cooled off, obviously, since you're both holding on to it. She's like, "Interesting. Now, I would give you the victory since you technically have the stone, but trickery, that was uncalled for." So she pulls out 200 gold pieces and sets them out in front of you, and she's like, "Here, take this." So she'll.
I reach out and grab all the gold.
Okay, so she
You're
takes.
halfway across the.
So she takes the 4 things that you paid her for previously, and then you guys get 200 gold, which is still above your offer. That was Locknow's original offer, so that's pretty good. And she's like, "Okay."
Guys, in good faith, I think we should give her the 25 back.
Well, she took 25 off, so. Are you talking about like back down to 175?
Yeah.
Are you going to? You don't have to. Are you guys going to?
I say
I
yes.
think Jared should give it back to her.
I think Jared should give her the 25 back.
I think
So
Jared
that
should
was-
give
All
her
right.
25.
Yeah, he agrees. All right. So you push 25 gold pieces back to her.
Yeah.
All right. She
25 gold for the trickery.
yeah, she smiles and says, "Thank you, but I want you to keep this. You're going to need it." And she pushes the 25 gold back to you guys again.
Can I ask her about that?
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Like, how she see the future?
She does a soft little chuckle again. She says, "Oh, I'm glad somebody finally brought that up. It's kind of been the big elephant in the room, don't you think?"
Yes.
And then she walks back over to that brown box that she's had in front of her, which you guys know has Dwarven runes written all over it. And she kind of waves her hand over it, and it pops open. Like she didn't touch it. She just waved her hand over it, and it just pops open. And inside, you see a very, very nice velvet or satin or something, just a really nice cloth-lined gem box. And inside is like 40 gems with individual slots all throughout. Just beautiful gems. And she looks up to you as she turns it around so you guys can see this. She says, "These here are my special possessions. They talk to me, as I like to say. Many people find this very bizarre and don't like to come to me unless they're seeking extreme guidance, which I understand, but I believe I have a gift." And she kind of gently puts her hand into the box, and she has the dark red stone from before, and she sets it back into its little slot, the only slot that was open. And she says, "These here have been whispering to me recently, saying all sorts of things. And I've been listening back and writing down what they've been telling me." And
What have you heard from the stones, Dia?
she kind of looks up to you and she says, "I've been hearing strange things I'm not used to. This rarely happens, and when I do, I'm not ready for it. But this time, I don't know, I was more prepared than usual." She's been saying, these stones have been saying all sorts of evil things about a darkness that's looming. And I'm very scared.
Is
What
a stone
language
good
do
for
they
the
communicate in?
I don't know. I speak several languages, and to me, I just understand it. It's almost as if it's my own consciousness speaking back to me.
Does one stone go to one person? Or is it?
They speak as a collective, almost as if a hive mind.
Are you one of the great mystics from the mountain?
She kind of smiles and looks up. She says, "I'm no mystic, but mountains I do come from."
My mom used to tell me stories of them.
She looks up and smiles at you. She says, "Oh, is your mom gifted?"
She was. She left when I was a little kid, though.
She kind of looks down a little somber, and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. But I too was the child of someone with great gifts. Gifts that I sort of inherited." And then she reaches down and pulls out a stone. You guys can't really tell what kind of stone it is. It's just a light pink color. And she kind of places it with her fingers, almost as if have you guys seen, remember in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're Jack's moving that coin between his fingers? She's kind of doing that with the gems, very nimbly.
Nice.
With this little pink gem, and it's kind of sparkling off the light, which is a prestidigitation spell. Fun fact. So, and as she's moving around, she's saying, "These gems have been seeking an audience with you, and I do not understand why, but I'm going to let them speak, for they've been waiting quite a while." And she kind of pushes the box away from you, towards her. So I'll kind of push it back here. And slides it over in front of you, Pip. And she reaches her hand, kind of waves it over the box back and forth. And she looks like she's concentrating very heavily, but you guys don't hear anything. And all of a sudden she stops and places her two fingers down in a pincer grip and pulls out this blue and white stone. And kind of procures in her hand and holds it in her palm and lifts it out over towards you, Pip. And she says, "This stone, this is a Larimar stone. They're very rare, found near the ocean. This stone has been saying that it is lost and needs guidance, saying that the one of the ocean and the sea and the wind is unsettled about an event that is coming in the future, and says that you are the one to fix it. Do you understand this stone?"
I do.
And she closes her palm, takes the stone back and puts it back in the box, and then slides over. Alright. So now she's in front of Loch Nolly here. And she waves her hands over the stones for quite a while. Way longer than your Pip just had. And then she stops and says, "These stones, none of them seem to want to talk to you, but instead want to stay away. They're very confused. They know that heat is emanating from you, and they do not like heat." And then she reaches down and pulls out this weird-looking stone. It's gray almost, and it's very reflective, very shiny. She takes this stone. It's very long and I don't know, almost like a cylinder, but it's tapered at the ends. So it's just almost like a football that's been elongated. And she holds this stone. It's very long. She's like, "This is a special stone. Comes from the heavens. We call it a moonstone. It has special properties. And it is always quiet, always just controlling things in the sidelines, never really coming out. This stone is special as it's only ever talked to one other person. They were a dear friend of mine, a priest of Torak. Do you also follow Torak?
Yes.
She smiles and then looks back down at the stone. Says, interesting. This stone has a special bond to those who are deeply connected to Torak. Almost as if he is watching their every move and guiding them throughout. Do you understand this stone?
Yes.
Alright, she takes it and puts it back. Slides over again. Alright. So this time she waves her hands over the stones very briefly. Like she almost immediately comes across a stone. And she smiles and reaches down and pulls out this long, like almost as if a rectangular prism stone. And it's like a vibrant orange color. She says, this is a special type of topaz called Imperial Topaz. We like to call it the topaz of the sun. It's very radiant and beckons to all those who are followers of the sun. Do you follow Iomade?
I do.
And she smiles again. She says, Iomade has been watching you and is very pleased. She appreciates your holy guidance and steadfastness in her teachings, and she wishes you to continue this throughout. Do you understand this stone?
I do.
Then she places it back. Slides over again. Alright. She rubs her hands over the stones again, this time taking about the same time as you, Pip, and stops over this stone that's very hard to see. And reaches out, and it's a dark green stone. She looks up at Auroch and says, you half-orc, I see you have a troubled past, one of confusion and anguish. This stone is special, as it's one with nature. But it's so much more than that. It has seen things that even I have not seen. This stone talks to me about the local area, and about nature, and how things need to be, and how they aren't. This stone is always talking, always angry, always mad, but is always right, and it is very steadfast. It seems to wish that you also share its pain, and it seeks comfort in you, and wishes that, as it sees a future that is nice, so too shall you. Do you understand this stone?
I do.
Alright. She takes this deep green, it's a peridot stone, and places it back in. Alright. So then she slides over one last time. She looks back up at Kabor. She's like, oh, you, the trickster. I feel like I already know which stone speaks to you. She rubs her hands very briefly over it and stops back at that red stone from before and pulls it out. And she says, this stone, this is a special stone. I get almandine all the time, but this stone is pure, the purest of pure garnet. We call this the bloodstone, or the deep sunstone, as we do not know its true origin. But we know it is powerful, and I know it is connected to you. She takes a stone and actually places it on the counter and slides it over to you. And she says, pick up the stone. Do you pick it up? Alright. So as you pick it up and hold it in your hands, it starts glowing. Right? Like this red light just starts emitting from it. And she stares at you and she's like, oh, I see. This is a pure connection. This stone has found its master. She's like, as a gift, I want you to keep this stone. As this is a very rare occurrence. I too have a stone that's bound to me, that I keep safe and hidden. I do not show it to anybody, and I plan to keep it that way. But I know this bond is special. So she just kind of like bows to you and says, you may keep this stone. So you now have a garnet stone that you can keep.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow, Kabor. Blood red stone.
Yeah. So it's like a very deep red garnet. It's not very big, but yeah, you now have a garnet stone. I'll wait for Joey to get back to finish this up here. So did everyone catch the names of their stones? If you want to write them down.
Can you just tell me mine again?
All right, I'll just go in order again. So you got a Larimar stone, Larimar. You can Google that if you want. All right. Locknolly, you have a moonstone. It's just called a moonstone in real life, so you can check that out later. All right. Valinar
My
got.
stone hates me. I don't want my stone. My stone hates me.
It doesn't hate you. It's just you don't have a connection to the stones like normal dwarves do, which is very interesting. But you do have a connection to the moonstone, which doesn't really pair to anybody. That's what's so special about it.
We don't get to keep that though, do we?
No, only Kabor gets to keep it. Yeah.
Okay.
She's
mine?
There's your pork in her.
yours is Peridot. Peridot.
My French.
I looked it up. It's Peridot, not Peridot. I thought it was Peridot as well, but I looked at the pronunciation. That's how they said.
Oh, that's a cool one. Looks like an emerald.
Yeah, so they're normally like lime green, but very, very rarely they can get a deep olive green, and those are very sought after. They're very rare.
Come from the Middle East.
So,
Nice.
and then so Valinar has Imperial Topaz, which is a type of topaz that's just orange. So, nothing crazy about that. And then Kabor got Garnet. A deep red garnet. So, normally garnets are they're called almandine, which is the most common form of garnet. It's like the lighter colors. But he got a pure garnet, so it's like the dark red, really rare sought after ones. So you guys now have a weird stone.
I'm back.
Okay. I was just telling everybody there are stones so they can write them down. If you just want to know. You want to know what yours was?
You mean the Ek? You said it was the Topaz.
Yeah, Imperial Topaz.
Imperial.
Yeah, that's the specific name. So if you want to look up a picture of it or whatever.
Hey, would Knowledge Arcana do anything like to help explain what these stones are?
You can try it.
Or
Knowledge nature.
Sure, knowledge nature would be fine. Let me look at.
does anybody have a bonus to Knowledge Arcana? Jared probably does.
Yeah, Jared has like a huge bonus to knowledge arcana.
Jared, roll for Knowledge Arcana.
What was that, Andrew? Knowledge nature. What's your bonus?
Plus six.
So 16.
Yep.
Wait, we can roll. What are we rolling? Knowledge nature on?
Just to check the integrity of the stones and things like that. Jared's checking for magical properties. It's weird you rolled 2 dice again.
They were both correct.
What's your
Just to see if there's anything.
What's your knowledge nature bonus?
6.
Oh, so that's a 12. 5. You have a +5, Jared. So that's a 12. All right. Well, they appear to you to be true stones. Like they're not. There's no trickery involved. These are pure stones. But you don't think there's anything magical going on that you can tell. You can do another detect magic spell if you'd like. All right. All right. So you use detect magic, and the stones themselves aren't glowing, but Dia is. So there's something going on with Dia, and your special garnet is also glowing.
He said he wanted to buy
Buy a what?
necklace.
A necklace for it?
Yeah.
Just like hold on to it.
Put it in.
Okay.
So you can wear like an amulet.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to ask Dia about that?
Yeah.
All right. She pulls out a nice gold necklace and says, "Here is a simple chain. It's nothing special and kind of tarnished in places, but it's the cheapest one I have that will suit your needs. It'll be 200 gold pieces."
What?
It's pure gold.
You don't have any silver ones?
This stone does not accept silver.
Yeah.
Alright,
What's your choice,
you want to say
Jared?
no to that? Alright. You can ask her to go look for something else if you want to. Like, that's just what she had on hand.
Like a bracelet.
You want to ask her? Alright. She's like, okay, let me go check my wares. And she kind of goes into the back here. Let me grab her. Who's back here? I didn't draw them in, but there's like bunches of boxes where she keeps all of her gems and stuff. She's rummaging around for a while. And she finds this weird, really thin chain. Like, it's not gold, it's not silver, you don't really know what it is. It's very thin. And she brings it back to you and says, "This is not a metal, but a special cloth. I don't really understand what it is, but it is never tarnished and never ripped, no matter how much force I've applied upon it. It can hold your gem quite nicely with a little fitting. For 50 gold pieces, I will make a setting for your gem and a nice little band to connect it to the necklace, and you can wear it as an amulet. Will this be acceptable?"
Yeah.
Alright. You
We're
guys
doing
want
it.
to subtract 50 gold from the pool?
Yes.
Do
Nice
it.
weapon.
Alright, you guys are doing it?
Jared,
Yeah.
Jared, you could have just asked her on the date, and this would have been solved.
Alright, so she takes back your garnet and goes in the back and kind of takes a little piece of gold and kind of conforms it to hold the gem, almost like a ring. It's got clasps on like 4 corners to kind of hold it in place. Then she makes a nice little band to connect it to the string, and she presents it to you and she says, "Here, take this and appreciate it for what it is, as I do not even understand what is going on here." So, do you put it on? Alright. You don't feel any different. There's no like magical properties that you can tell right now what's going on, but you almost feel like, comforted by it. Like it's right above your heart, and it's like kind of emanating with your heartbeat. So there's definitely something weird going on. And then she kind of bows and says, "Is there anything else I can do for you? Anyone else want anything from the jeweler?"
Can I ask her if she's going to the funeral?
You want to ask her about that?
Yeah.
Okay. She looks up and she says, "Yes, Rodrik was very near and dear to all of us, and I'll of course be attending." Anything else?
Sitting.
You ask where she's sitting?
Yeah, where's she going to be sitting?
Well, there's not like gonna be like seats or anything. It's kind of like just an auditorium. You guys are all gonna be standing.
Okay.
So she'll just show up. It's sort of like like a festival where everyone just kind of stands around.
We'll have to look for her.
Yeah.
You can ask her about the guy,
Oh, yeah.
the blonde guy.
Oh yeah, you guys want to ask her about that?
Yeah.
All right, who wants to ask her about
I
that?
want Jared to ask.
All right. So Kimura ask her about the blonde man, and she kind of thinks for a second, and it's like, "No, I don't recognize the individual you're talking about, and I would remember." And then as she says that, like she starts like her eyes kind of like snap like 45 degrees, and like she's looking off into like the corner of the room almost, just kind of thing, and she's just sitting there kind of gently rocking her head. And then she slowly turns her head back to you after a minute or so, and she says, "The stones are unpleased with this description. There is something wrong. They do not like this." And then she kind of snaps again, like starts like gently rocking her head like in a yes motion for like a couple seconds. Then she turns back and she says, "Watch out for this man, for I feel like he is the root of this problem." And then that's all she says.
Jared, ask her about those blue stones that what's his name had. Yeah,
Fuze had?
yeah, because
blue
they
rock?
were the ones. Yeah. see if she knows anything about it.
All right, so you mentioned Fuze, and as soon as you mentioned Fuze, she has this huge smile on her face, and then she looks up at you, or I guess kind of down since she's pretty tall, although so are you, and she says, "Man, I just don't understand that guy. He's eccentric, to say the least. But I do not know of these blue stones you speak of. He's never once mentioned it to me, although every time I talk to him, I usually just end up getting no information in a hole in my pocket, so I do not speak to him often."
If you ever get the chance, ask about it. Don't say we.
Yeah.
I like my clothes without holes in them.
Yeah, I have one in my back pocket, so thanks to him.
So, do you show her that?
Yeah.
All right, so you turn around and she just immediately starts giggling. She's like, "Oh yes, I am very familiar with that hole. He's a tricky little individual." And then she kind of like does like a gentle bow once more, and she says, "I believe that is all that you inquire, if I'm not mistaken. Is there anything that I have apparently forgot?" Nothing?
What brought you to assist us in the way that you did today?
Well, the stones, of course.
I would like to ask her how she came upon the box of dwarven rune.
Oh, yes. All right, so she kind of gives you like a nod of appreciation, and she's like, "Oh yes, this was given to me by an old merchant a long while ago. He used it to carry his precious stones that he mined, but he said that somebody told him that I deserved this box and that I needed it more, and so he gave it to me. I do not really understand why, but it was a very precious gift, and I've kept it ever since."
Do you know if this box came from a city, an ancient city?
It is possible, yes, but I do not understand dwarven runes, so I do not know.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think we should head to the funeral now.
Okay.
So Auroch stays back while everyone else.
Leaves. Are you going to ask her a private question?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll send your Pip out to go greet Kasha, who is kind of like lying on her back, paws up, sort of like how Darcy sleeps, just enjoying the shade and relaxation time. All right, so everyone's outside, and Auroch, you're in there all by yourself. So what would you like to say?
Do we have to beat ourselves?
Yes.
I'll just go into a different room with Andrew. Andrew, just jump up a room. Okay, they're gonna be able to hear me, but they won't be able to hear what you say. So.
Okay. So the
Unless you
last
want me to
thing-
type it.
You can't. You can type it if you want. I don't care.
All right,
Doesn't matter.
I'll text it to you since I don't really know how the whisper thing works on Roll20.
Or you can type it in.
They'll be able to
this,
see
can't
it.
you?
They'll be able to see it.
All right. Shit. Hang on. Let me go get my.
Okay.
She's probably bedazzled. The pubic hair's probably got some sparkles to it.
You really like that her hair had sparkles in it?
All right, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, Auroch reaches into his back.
Okay.
The scroll was the last. So he says, "Dea, I know I've introduced myself before, but my name is Auroch. Come from a small, humble fishing village just north of Trunau. This is the last scroll. This is the last piece of my mother that I have. Her name was Morag, and he hands it over to her to like read the
The stones are talking to me.
Read the scroll.
scroll. Yep.
All right, so she takes a scroll and she like parses over it. She's like, I sense magic in this scroll, but I'm unfamiliar with what it's quite deciphering. This language is peculiar, even for me. So, you can leave it
Yeah.
here and I can study it, but I do not know off immediate observation.
Well, it hasn't done me much good, so you're more than welcome to keep it for studying. Because I honestly don't have many fond memories of since my mother has left. So it's kind of brought me peril and sadness. So, but you're more than welcome to keep it for intellectual purposes.
All right, so she reaches out to grab it, and all of a sudden she stops and gets that weird look like she's hearing things again. And she's like, I've been told that I mustn't take this, for I would not be able to give it back to you, to the person who really understands this. So please hold on to it instead.
Did the Peridot speak to you again?
She looks at you and she says, I don't know which stone, but yes, that is most likely the one that is channeling this connection to you.
Have you met her in travels, or?
I do travel a lot, but I meet many half-orcs, so I do not know.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I do appreciate you kind of giving me some clear of mind,
She gives you a gentle bow and she says, yes, of course, I feel like the person who can truly understand this will meet you very soon, so I look forward to your peace of mind.
Thank you, Dia. And if there's anything I can do to help you in your travels, please feel free to beckon me again.
She kind of gives you a nod and she says, I will see you again, trust me.
Okay. And after that, I head out of the
Alright, so we can pop out into the other room.
Some
Oh my god, what is going on in here?
We're gone
Jeez.
for 2 minutes and we're talking about ice cream flavor.
Okay.
We're talking about strawberry dick.
Lovely.
strawberry and dick ring pops.
Yeah.
That's Valnar's favorite snack.
Alright, so
That happens when you're
a cultural classic.
is there anything else you guys wanted to do before we can get to the funeral in the evening? Because you got a little bit of time left. We can just say that time passes and you guys just hang out. If you
I kind of want to go sell my bear trap to Morning Hawk.
okay.
What was that?
Mm,
He wants to sell his bear trap to Sarah Morninghawk.
fair enough.
Who the hell is
S-E-L. Sell
that?
your S.
A necklace?
T. That'd be horrible. E. Steal. S. C. R. O. Scroll case? You want to sell your scroll case? Yeah, I think that was worth big bucks. Yeah, Jared found a scroll case that was.
What?
Let me find that actually.
At that Asian place when we saw douche.
Yep, I remember that.
Jared muted himself. It's probably for the best since I'll be posting this. All right, let me find that. Let me find that case. Oh yeah. Jared, that thing is covered in gems. It's
Why not just sell it to her?
Yeah, it's a gold coffer with numerous gems. You want to go back in and sell it to her? Okay. This is gonna be funny. Alright, we'll wait for Joe to
Hey,
get
by
back.
the way,
We'll have. You want him to just go in there by himself, or do you want to bring the whole crew with you?
ask her on a date this time.
We'll just say he goes in there
Date
by.
to the funeral.
We'll say he just goes in there by himself. Alright, so you walk in there, and she turns around. She's like, "Oh, have you found something that was previously not there?" Do you pull out the thing? She gets very excited when she sees this. And she's like, "Oh, this is beautiful. This
She
is
gets
wondrous."
very excited when you pull out your thing.
And
What did you whip out?
so
That she was all excited about?
Jared had the scroll case that you guys found that's covered in gems that you forgot about.
Oh,
So
that's
you-
not what I thought.
So he walks in. All right, so she's like, "This is a very special piece, and there's some wondrous gems. I'll give you 400 gold pieces for this." Do you take it? All right. She kind of giggles as she hands you the money. She's like, "I see you're not telling your friends about this. That's very tricky of you, the trickster." And then she kind of gives you like a little hand wave. She says, "I'll see you soon." And as soon as she says that, like the lights turn off in there, and she's like back to like almost invisible. She's wearing like purple. All you can see is the gentle sparkling of her hair that's coming in from the light through the front flaps. So you can.
You're about to get raped.
Alright, so do you take that sack of gold and hide it, or you just carry it out in your hands?
That's how all the stories start.
You hide it? Okay. Alright, so add 400 gold to your personal gold collection.
Sure.
I can write it in.
I'm sensing motive on here.
You're 50 gold from the pool, and now you're stashing all this.
Well, technically you guys don't know about this, so...
Ivy said she would ask.
Alright, so you walk on out. Jared, can you make a stealth check for me, please? Or a sleight of hand. Whatever's better. If they're both 0, then just roll one.
I'm just gonna revoke it.
Any modifiers to that? Stealth or sleight of hand? +2? So it's a 17? Alright. Yeah, you walk out and they're none the wiser. Alright.
So what happened?
Jared, do you wanna like pull out any money? Like the 50 gold back and put it back in the pool and be like, oh hey, she gave me the money back or anything like that? Or are you just gonna keep all 400 yourself? You wanna pull 50 out? Alright. So Kabor pulls out 50 gold and offers it back for the pool.
Jeez,
Oh,
what'd you do?
What'd you guys say? You
She
guys all said it at
paid
the same
you
time.
for that?
Jeez,
You dick it down.
what'd you do?
Well, Kabor, did she give you 50 gold for that?
Only
Exactly
50 gold.
More than 50 gold.
When did you turn into a prostitute?
One.
Give you 1 gold.
Oh, and you're so generous enough to give us an extra. What a generous guy.
Well, you guys technically didn't even know they pulled out the ornate case. Like, you guys all forgot about it, so...
Yeah.
You don't know that he sold it. You just know that he got 50 gold somehow. That's it.
I turn to Kabor and wink. Give him the thumbs up.
He's a shifty cleric over there. Alright. Well, back to Sarah Morninghawk. Since you guys talked to her earlier in the morning, but you wanted to hold off until you talked to the jeweler first.
Yep, so I want to go sell my bear trap.
Alright, so the hike back to Sarah Morninghawk. So you guys stroll back in, and Sarah's nowhere to be found. So what do you want to do?
Steal one.
Just back and forth. Sarah, you here?
Alright, she's like, oh yes, 1 second. And then she comes around the corner. Dressed all fine. I mean, she's like in nicer clothes, so it looks like she was just changing into something a little bit nicer. All of her smithing stuff is like at ease. There's no fire burning or anything like that, besides just, gently worn into place. And she comes around and she's like, oh yes, we spoke earlier. I thought you were okay with everything. Is something amiss?
Oh, everything's fine. I just have this.
And she looks at this bear trap that you said. She's like, where did you find this?
Well, it's best not to say, but...
But what? You cut out.
Came across 3 of them, and they were far too cumbersome.
She looks at the thing. She's like, yeah, I mean, you're struggling to hold it up. I mean, it seems not that heavy. And she takes it and lifts it, no problem. She's just yanking her chain. Like, you had no problem either. You're a pretty swole guy. But she's kind of yanking her chain. She kind of inspects it, and she's like, it doesn't seem to have caught anything. I don't see any blood or anything like that. This is in nice condition. I will give you 20 gold for it.
How about the other 2?
Where did you find them?
I found them here and there in my travels.
One is plenty. If I need another, I will ask you to go retrieve it for me, and I will pay you for each one. How's
Great.
that?
Sounds wonderful.
All right, so she gives you 20 gold. That could be your 20 gold if you want. Up to you.
Cool. No, I throw it in the pool.
Okay. You're a gentle person, unlike some people we know.
Don't need any money.
And then,
Valnar it just chucks the gold pieces at Valnar.
all right.
I laughed here.
Here, Elf. Here, Elf. We have some use.
I call him an evil word in a different language.
Okay.
Up right now.
Yeah. He said he, yeah. Scott, your voice is like really laggy on here. Are you on the Wi-Fi?
No,
Do you want to be on the Wi-Fi?
I guess so.
It's right.
I only catch it every other.
It's right behind you. If you want the password and stuff. Yeah, I'm
There you
gonna.
go. So every other word.
It's,
Yeah. What's
it's on
the
box. I can't move.
password?
I'm kind of locked in. You have to go around.
Which one is it?
It is. I'm on wired connection, so it doesn't tell me. You Wi-Fi folk. What's the? Actually, I guess I can check on my phone. It's AT&C 6.
Okay.
And then the password's a bunch of gobbledygook over there, so you can get that. Maybe that'll fix your lagging. But Joey, what he said was, yeah, I know. He was just saying that he laughs hysterically at Auroch, I guess, throwing the money at you. I don't think he literally threw it at you. Did you literally throw it at him and just like poke him with it?
No, I just like human peasant. Hold on to this. Like,
Okay. Yeah, he didn't pelt it with it. He's just handing it to him.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I take out my pieces that are first collection.
All right. Are you going to do that seriously?
Yeah.
All right. So, Locknolly takes out his 2 gold pieces. That's all he has on him, and then just chucks them at Locknolly. Or at Valinar, I mean. Just hurls them. So.
And I'll just leave them on the ground.
All right. Joey said he just leaves them on the ground. Do you want to pick them back up?
Pick those up. No, I'm just kidding. I pick them up.
All right. So go ahead and re-add your 2 gold back to your pool. That was interesting. Sarah's just kind of looking at you, just really confused. Like she's got one eyebrow raised. Like, what is happening?
This dysfunctional band of friends.
She's like, okay. Do you guys need anything else?
No, I think we're all set. Thank you, though.
She's like, of course. I will see you later. And she does like the little like brother in arms kind of thing symbol to you.
Fist pound back.
Yeah. And
She pumps
then
her breast.
Jesus. And then is there anything else you guys wanted to do before the funeral, or are we gonna get that started?
Let's get it started. I don't think we need to do anything.
All right. So as I said last time, it was kind of cloudy and it looked like it was gonna rain. As soon as you guys leave Sarah's, it starts to gently rain. So it's just a light, gentle rain. So you guys are gonna be kind of soaked for the funeral unless they move it inside. So because it's supposed to be out in the auditorium. So you guys head on over there. And it's getting late. It's in the evening, so you guys have been out for a while. Hear the gentle rain just pitter-pattering on the ground. It's not too bad. And you go over to like the big auditorium where they were gonna usually hold this. And you look and there's nobody there except for one guy who's just kind of sitting under a tree with a little bell. And he's kind of ringing the bell. He goes, "Hey!" And he's just ringing the bell and he's like waving for you guys. So, you guys head over to him?
Yes.
All right. So as you get closer, you realize this is like a younger kid. Like he's like, I don't know, 10, 11. And he's sitting there kind of shivering a little bit.
See the guy from the Plague House?
No, it's not him.
Okay.
And you look at him, and he looks at all you, and he's like, "Wow, you guys are a lot scarier up close." But he's like, the funeral isn't gonna be held here. It's gonna be held by the Sacred Fire, which is up in the north. I'm just here to kind of like direct people where to go, and I don't really like this. Don't really like this job, but you know, someone's gotta do it because no one really knows where to go. So, yeah, go to the fire. I'll be there eventually.
All right, 4 eyes.
He kind of looks really sad. He's like, why is everyone calling me that?
It was a joke. I'm sorry.
Bully.
Was it a joke?
I was bullied as a kid. No, I'm kidding.
We know, it's okay.
Yeah, if anybody was bullied, it was you.
Elf Paladin? Half-elf Paladin? Alright, so you guys gonna head over to the... It's called the Flame of the Fallen, is the...
Okay, I say we head there,
to.
but I'm gonna roll a perception check.
Sure. What are you looking for?
Just anything in peculiar? Like anyone on top of...
Top of what?
Like on top of roofs? Like anyone, like
Like
cloaked
snipers?
on top of roofs? Yeah.
Yeah, you find 2 U.S. snipers sitting on top of the longhouse.
Alright, knew it.
No, there's nothing weird going on.
Okay.
I mean, it's raining pretty, like, a little bit, but you don't really see anything.
Good perception check. I really do think that was a smart idea. Because you just never know. We could get ambushed.
It's happened before.
Josh is a sneaky little bastard.
I mean, yeah, it's true. Alright, so, you guys gonna head over to the Flame of the Fallen?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, let me make sure it's in the north. Because I just kind of just ad-libbed that, so... If it's the south, then I have another joke that I guess I could do. Flame of the Fallen. No, but it's in the very south. Alright, so you guys head north, and there's nothing there. So you guys want to turn around and head back south?
Yeah, I want to cut that dude out.
Alright, so you go back, and as you come back, that kid's got a small crowd of people yelling at him. And he's just like trying to talk to everybody. So you guys want to walk up to this crowd?
No, just...
No, let's
past
skip
them.
it.
Yeah, let's walk past them.
Just flip him the bird on the way.
Yeah, you guys want to roll a perception check for me as you walk nearby? So you listen upon the crowd?
Sure.
Oh, 20, that's plenty good. You rolled a 24.
19.
19.
Okay. So as you're walking by, you just hear a bunch of just berating insults, and this kid just starts crying. Like, I'm so sorry. I was told it was up. I know it's down. I was just listening to my superiors. I'm so sorry. So he's just getting berated by these random villagers. With the 24 though, you notice that a couple of them are, half orc or maybe even full orc. Like, well, not true full orc, but like half orc, like hanging out, just yelling at him.
Were they Katretra?
No, like younger half orcs.
Anyone that we've recognized before,
No.
like Bryn or...
And there's not a whole lot of half orcs here, so it's kind of bizarre that there's a couple of half orcs just berating this poor kid.
Jared, toss a fireball over there.
And
Distract them so they can leave that poor kid alone.
Emily? Boom.
Can I go over and intervene?
yeah, of course.
Let's just leave him there. Everybody
Alright,
just keep walking.
Valinar walks over. What do you want to say?
Let's give the young lad a break. He merely got his corrections crossed. Berate him for such an issue like that. You can clearly see that he feels bad.
All right, roll a diplomacy check.
God, these never go well.
There's a kid's life on the line here.
Let's just
Holy
my
cow!
Wait, you rolled
You rolled 3 times?
3
No,
times.
just nat 20. He rolled a nat 20.
All right, we'll take the nat 20 because that's the one I see. So,
Why did it roll 3 times?
I don't know, but the one I see is the nat 20, so that's the one I'm taking.
No, that
that's-
10 was the last roll. So nat 20 was your first one, and it rolled
Oh yeah.
So, nat 20 is your first roll. So, that's right.
Interesting. All right, so with a natural 20, everyone just like stops immediately at your booming voice, and they're like, "Oh yes, of course. We're so sorry. We're so sorry." And the kid stops crying, and they all head south to the Flame of the Fallen. And he's like, "Oh, thank you so much. I was just posted here because I got in trouble earlier for doing something so stupid, and I didn't deserve this." And he starts crying again.
Oh, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes.
Wow, typical
Then,
half
then,
elf.
then he
Just
stops.
making everyone
He
feel
stops
better.
crying, and he's like, "I think I've done my job here. I'm just gonna go to the funeral now." And then he just leaves.
Okay, alright.
All right, so you guys are all heading to the funeral then?
Yeah, Joey's like a mile or so behind.
Oh, because you guys left battle?
Yep, we left him.
He did.
No,
I did.
I didn't leave him.
All right, so you just see Locknolly way ahead of you guys. You know.
Yeah,
Yep.
trudge
So as you guys finally get there, you see him. He's already talking to somebody. He's somehow got some ale in his hand. You don't know where that came from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you guys catch up to.
Locknolly hitting the pine already, I see.
Yes, it's a late night. I'm awful distraught about this funeral.
Oh yeah, I can really tell you're really like shaken and moved by this.
As soon as you say that, actually, the priestess Tyari Varvados comes up, and she walks over to you, and she looks at you, Locknolly, and looks at your ale in hand. She's like, "It's a bit early for that, don't you think?" And then she just takes it from you, and then just chucks it. She's like, "This is a special time, and Iomade frowns upon things of this nature. I don't know how your god, what was it, Torag, responds to this, or you as dwarves, but we do not do this here. This is a place of respect." And then she kind of walks off, and right behind her is Brantos, if you remember her like second in command at the church.
Yeah.
All right, so she kind of walks up to this little stage that's set up next to this big flame. So you see this like huge half cauldron thing. It's like made of gold almost, but burned. So it looks like bronze. And so they got this huge fire going, like this pyre. You can kind of see how it like kind of licks up in the air as it's eating a little, like reacting to little drops of rain that are sprinkling upon it. So, and you also notice like around it there's these ornate candle holders holding these like special candles. So if you remember, Sarah Morninghawk was working on those earlier in the morning, so you can see her work there. So it looks very beautiful. There's flowers. They have like these. They're not like fancy flowers. They're just just nice flowers. And you also see all sorts of people, including Cursed, who is with his dad. If you remember, his name is Jagrin. And you also see Omas. All three of them are talking to each other kind of like behind the stage a little bit. Of course, you see Tiari and Brantos. You just saw them. They're actually on the stage. And you also see... Who else?
You.
You see
Sarah or Dia or any of them?
You don't see any of them.
Few.
Oh yeah, you see Chief Defender Halgra as well, with her daughter Ruby. They're kind of in the back too, talking, like coming up to talk to Cursed and all of them. But that's all you see from here. Do you guys want to like go up on the stage or
any blonde guy around or anything?
roll a perception check. 23 is pretty good. Anyone else gonna roll?
Hang on.
'28's even better. What's your modifier, Joey?
For perception,
Yeah.
Do you have a perception mod, dude?
solid 0.
Alright, so locked in 14. I think Kabor's is like +9 in it.
This is high too, yeah.
Can you read his perception mod?
Me, Pip, and Kabor have a really high one.
0.
Plus 0? Okay, so it's just a nat 19.
Oh, wow.
Alright, so with a 28, since you're kind of on the ground, you can't really see a whole lot, but you could see a lot better if you went up on the stage.
So hey, guys, let's kind of go up on stage and check out what's going on here, since, I mean, it's never been to a funeral outside of, the forest. Let's look around and see what's going on.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys all head up onto the stage, and when you get up there, you of course, you can just feel the heat coming from this fire, like it's intense.
What color is it?
Just normal fire color, just orangey
Okay.
red. Nothing crazy. There's no blue flames. There's no
Okay.
no Fuze shenanigans.
I didn't know if Fuze flaming around or anything.
Nope. So also when you're up there, you see like a nice ornate table up there, and it's got a bunch of like herbs and stuff and oils and things of that nature. So typical funeral stuff.
No blonde guy?
No blonde guy. Well, you have to roll perception up here, but no blonde guy on the stage. And you also have the hope knife from earlier. Is also sitting on the like the fake hope knife, not the real one. Is sitting on the table. All right, so you're 17. Anyone else gonna roll? Perception.
Guys, we should keep our eyes.
17's all around.
We need to keep our eyes peeled for that blonde guy.
All right, so a whole lot of 17s and a 4.
4, nice.
What'd you roll?
16.
Okay, so pretty much 17. Okay, so when you look out over the crowd, you see a couple more people that you hadn't seen before. So you see Sarah Morninghawk and her wife, Agrit, are kind of in the back. They're talking to Cham, actually, who's like standing on a chair to talk to them. You also see Brynja, who is now walking up to the side of the stage, but kind of away from Jagrin and all of them. She's just kind of like by herself over on the side. She's kind of sitting there very solemnly on a little bench, just kind of sitting in the rain. She looks very upset for obvious reasons. You also see a little wisp of color that you recognize as Fuze, who's like kind of in the middle of the crowd. Just kind of, he has his own like crude rudimentary stool that he's like sitting on. He's like the only one sitting. He's just kind of sitting amongst people walking around all over the place by himself. And he's got this shirt that only has like one hole in it, which is pretty amazing for him. And his hair is actually black, but towards the top where it like curls up like Jimmy Neutron, it actually turns brown and then red. So his hair is multicolored. So it's not gray at all.
Is that just soot?
Probably. You can go talk to him if you want to figure
Hey
that out.
Jared, can you do a detect magic?
You also see Dia kind of like hiding on the, like towards the back. She has this very beautiful emerald gown on.
Yeah, she does, Jared.
Get it?
She has a hood over her head too, so you can barely see her blonde hair is kind of peeking out over the front, and then it's also still sparkling.
All right, guys. Do we have anyone that we want to go talk?
Detect magic.
Do you want us to detect magic within 60 feet of like on the stage? So you notice that some of the oils and stuff have a gentle magic property to it, but it's probably just a blessing of purity or something like that. Nothing nefarious. And that's about all the magic that you can detect within the stage. The stage is pretty big, so you wouldn't really hit the crowd too much. But yeah, that's all you see.
Hey, Josh, do we still have the hope knife from the plague house?
Brynja has it. You guys,
give it to
yeah,
her?
you guys gave it to her.
Okay.
But yeah, you notice that the hope knife on the table is not the real hope knife. It's the one they found on the body, which you know is a fake.
Yeah. Should we dust for prints?
This isn't CSI.
Okay.
Cuts for prints.
All right, so do you guys want to do anything else up here? You want to get down into the crowd? You want to talk to anybody before this starts? I'll let you guys mingle if you want to.
Yeah, let's mingle a little bit, guys.
Can before we mingle, can we check the table just to like look around to see if there's anything suspicious?
Sure. You want to just scavenge the table? Roll a perception check for me.
15.
28.
Okay, so you guys kind of walk around the table, and as soon as you do, Tyra comes up and kind of like walks up behind you. She's like, I can trust that you guys aren't doing anything nefarious over at my holy altar, are you?
We wouldn't think of such things.
She gives you a smile, like a gentle smile. She's like, of course, I'm glad to see that somebody else here is being precautious. Things have been very strange, and this has caused this whole town to go into turmoil. So I appreciate you looking out for me.
Well, as a half-orc, you can't really...
Can't really what?
I said as a half-orc, you can't trust anyone.
Yeah. She kind of gives you like a solemn bow, and she's like, yes, I understand. And but then she says, yeah, rest assured, there's nothing wrong. These are just my holy essentials that both Branchos and I have prepared. So, and you guys don't see anything.
Apologies.
She's like, oh, don't even worry. I'm just glad somebody else here is looking out. And
then I walk off the stage. And
yeah, she starts preparing some stuff. All right, so you guys
walk off the stage and head towards Sarah.
Okay. Heading towards Sarah?
I'm gonna head towards Sarah. I don't know where everyone else is.
Are we gonna split up?
Are we gonna split up, guys?
Holy moly!
No.
I'll split up.
Who do you want to go see?
Hmm?
Who do you want to go see? If you're splitting up, who do you want to go talk to?
I just want to go find my beer.
Your beer's gone. There'll be a wake after the funeral that you can get plenty of beer. Trust me, it'll be flowing.
No, I think as a group we should, if Andrews or Orok is going to go talk to Sarah, I would say that he's pretty safe over there if we want to start heading to the opposite side of the... What is this place?
It's called the Flame of the Fallen.
The other side of where Sarah is, and just kind of keep our eyes open for a blonde guy. Just walk through the crowd.
Okay. Scan the crowd.
All right, so
And then Jared can do a detect magic, when we get farther away from the stage.
you guys are very bent on finding magic here. All right, you want to do Orok? You want to just resolve? We'll just assume that whatever we communicate, you'll just tell them when you get back, so they can just listen in. All right, so you walk up to Sarah and Agrit, and when you get closer, you see that they are standing on either side of Katrezra, who's sitting on a nice little wooden chair between them.
Well met, Ken.
Well met.
How is everyone doing this somber day?
We've definitely been better. Rodrik was the best of the best, and we deeply miss him.
I know, he was the only one that kind of respected her.
Yep.
Seems like.
And Katrezra kind of looks up at you and says, I was very close to that boy, and I deeply regret his passing. I just wish that his soul finds peace.
Can you do a perception check on Katrezra?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Any, magical items or anything? 11, so it's not going to show me anything.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary. He does look pretty worse for wear. His boils seem pretty flared up, but You know,
No,
nothing
animal
crazy.
blood on him or anything.
No, he's actually in some nice robes.
Okay. Oh, Sarah, I just you know, I don't mean to take up
You don't mean to what?
I don't mean to take up your time. I know you're with your better half. You know, and I wink at her.
Yeah, Agric kind of smiles a little bit.
But I just wanted to say, like, your candelabras were fantastic.
She gives a gentle nod. And she's like, "Oh, a lover of fine craftsmanship, huh? Do you have any experience with the smithy?"
Well, my father was a smith, and I was putting fullers in.
Your father was a smith and what? You cut out.
My father was a smith, and I was putting fullers into long swords.
She gives you a nod when you mention like working with weapons. She's like, "Oh yes, and you know the trade well. I'm glad to hear it. Maybe I could hire you someday." She gives you like a little bit of a laugh.
Yeah, you know, I'm always looking for work. Anything for.
She smiles and says, "That's great. You can tell that my workers around here are not very reliable."
Yeah, I can see that.
And then,
But
yeah,
I
go ahead.
What was I gonna say? Ah, crap, I forgot. What were you gonna say, Josh?
I was just gonna say that she kind of turns towards Katreza, who's like coughing a little bit, and tries to like soothe him as he's not doing so well, and they're like on this little overhang trying to get out of the rain.
Well, Ken, I do not mean to take up your time.
She's like, "Oh no, it's quite okay. We will see you afterwards. Yes."
I do plan on it.
She's like, "Excellent. We can talk more about your smithy past that. I'm quite curious."
Yeah, absolutely. And so then I, you know, respectfully like bow or handshake with all of them, and then I head.
Cool. Head back with the group.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So, cut
We're all
back to
dead.
what?
We're all dead.
No, you're not dead. All right. So, are you guys like in the middle of the crowd, or are you guys like working right around like the periphery, or what's going on
He
here?
said the periphery. Sky said the periphery.
Like in the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you said Sarah Morninghawk was kind of back off to the side, so we're
Yeah, like the
on the
you're on the opposite side.
so we're on the opposite side looking at him. Like keeping an eye on him
Oh,
and getting
Rock
a
while he
scope of the
talks?
crowd.
Okay. So
Yeah, like getting a scope of the crowd.
okay. So you guys are like on the opposite side in the back.
Mhm.
Okay. If I had space here to draw, which I don't. That's good. We don't really need it. Yeah. So you watch nothing's crazy going on when Orlok talks to the three of them. Dia's not too far away from you, so she's kind of keeping an eye on you guys, wondering what the heck you're doing. But is there anything you want to do besides detect magic, or are we just gonna do that? You only be able to hit like a little bit of the crowd, like a third of it. I mean, this is a whole town here, so it's pretty big.
Hold on.
Not even a third, I would say.
Funerals really get the juices flowing.
Hmm?
Best time to pick up a chick is at a funeral.
Yeah. Haven't you ever seen Wedding Crashers?
I do not understand these.
Good lord. All right, so you're just gonna cast detect magic on that side. All right, so when you do that, you notice quite a few people are lighting up. You can just like little items on them, so what you assume are just like like a wand or something like that. Dia's glowing a little bit, and but nothing out of the ordinary. Like you sense magic's nearby, but nothing that like strikes your attention is like, man, this is some strong magic.
Can I detect evil?
You can detect evil. Would you like to do that?
Yep.
All right, so you.
Eleanor, I say we stand in the middle of the.
You go to the middle. Well, you can detect evil multiple times, right? How many times per day can you cast that? Like 3 or something, or infinite? I don't know how detect evil works. Because I can look at his character sheet. Holy cow, my notes just are spilling everywhere. Detect evil. Oh yeah, it's a 0 level spell, so you can cast that as many times as you want.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah, so you cast Detect Evil, and it's got the same range as Jared's Detect Magic. You don't really detect anything evil. Like, in order for it to come up as like evil on a Detect Evil spell, it had to be like true evil, and you're not really getting that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, is there anything else you guys want to do? Want to talk to anybody? You said you wanted to go towards the middle of the crowd. Do you guys want to do that?
We'll just stay on the outer
Stay on the outer edge?
portion of it and just let it play out a little.
Sure. Justin's laying Darcy out, so I'll wait till he gets back, and then I'll just start the funeral. It won't take very long. Boo, 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 boo. Does anyone else want to do any perception checks while we're waiting? Just see if you see anything in the back, since you guys haven't really done one from the very back. Done one from the side and from the.
I did detect something on my Detect Evil.
23.
All right.
Glow coming from.
Glow coming from what? What'd you say, Joey?
A strange glow of evil coming from Loch Nolly's dick.
That's kind of weird since he's a priest.
It's a monster. You're right.
He's a cleric.
Or
With a monster dick.
You don't really see, like, with your perceptions, you guys don't really see anything just like the normal people. You saw that Cham moved, obviously, so you don't know where she went. But I'm sure she's in the crowd somewhere. But is everyone ready for the actual funeral to begin? Okay.
Can I do a perception, like, scope, like I said, like the roof or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some buildings around you. They're kind of far away, except for the Longhouse. The Longhouse is the only building nearby.
23.
You notice nothing weird about any of the buildings. The Longhouse is the only building like pretty close by. Everything else is really far away, in terms of like being attacked. So
Like, no torches on the roof or anything?
nope, nothing unusual. Everything looks just fine. It's just a funeral.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you guys are kind of getting settled in the back corner, you see Tayari and Halgra walk up on stage. And Halgra kind of yells out in her booming voice that she has. She says, "Thank you everybody for coming. This is truly a sad moment in our town's time, and I'm very, very heartbroken at the loss of our dear friend Rodrik. But I feel like this is a fitting day for his funeral, as not only am I weeping, but the sky is as well." And she kind of stops, like gives a little moment of silence, and then she backs up to let Tayari lead the ceremony, since she is the priest of the village. So she kind of like starts doing these like, I don't know, like holy rituals with the oils and blessings and stuff, which are typical priestess things. Nothing crazy. I'm not gonna bore you with random details about, you know, what she's doing. She's just very ceremoniously like spreading oil and burning some of the sacred herbs and things like that. Nothing crazy. And then she kind of stops and turns around and says, "Now for the traditional quenching of the hope knife. As many of you know, we take the hope knife when we come of age to symbol our protection to this community, and when we pass, we take this knife and quench it in the flames as a passing of safety into the next life." So she invites Brynja up onto the stage, who is very upset, obviously, and she hands out the real hope knife instead of the one on the table, and kind of respectfully bows and hands it to her, and Tari takes it and turns around and then like kind of dips it into the fire for a little while with these like tongs, and she leaves it in there for a little bit and takes it out, and when she pulls it out, it's like black as night, so it's pretty burnt, and she just kind of lets it sit there and then puts it back on the table with like these holy herbs and oils and stuff, and kind of pours it on them, and it kind of bubbles a little bit, and then kind of cools off after a little while. And then her and Brynja do like this little prayer around the knife, and like the whole town kind of goes silent and like holds hands and does their own little incantation. Do you guys join in on that? Just kind of like holding hands doing the prayer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So everyone's like bowing their head in respect. And then Tari takes the knife and bows and hands it back to Brynja. Do you guys want to roll a perception check while she hands the knife over? Alright, 23 is the highest so far. What'd you get?
17.
Okay, so 23 is the highest. Okay, so when you do that, you kind of notice, like, off to the side that Jigrin, the father of Curse, is kind of, like, scowling a little bit at this. Like, he's not pleased that she's getting this knife and, like, not him. And, like, right when he's doing that, you see Cursed walk up onto the stage and kind of, like, side by side with Brynja. And then he also does like these, like he takes the knife from her and then does all these prayers, and then Jigrin and Omas come up and join in on the prayers, and Brynja's kind of standing off to the side, just kind of waiting for this whole ceremony to be over. So after the family prays with the knife and kind of respectfully, like moves it on to the next life, the knife is left on the table, and everyone starts to go down, but Tari stops Brynja, and she turns around, and Tari gives her the knife. So Brynja has the knife, and she kind of bows, and then Brynja heads down and kind of stands with Cursed and all of them, although Jigrin's like on the farthest side away from her because he doesn't like her too much. And then Tari comes back up to the crowd, and she says, "It is complete. Everyone head to the longhouse, and we will continue onwards with the celebration of what Rodrik was, and then as soon as she says what, you hear this loud crack of thunder, and you see this huge pierce of lightning come through. And after that, you hear this loud horn, just like really loud horn coming from over the wall, like this, and just repeats again. And then as soon as you hear that, everyone roll another perception check for me real quick.
Sounds like an orc horn.
After everyone to kill themselves.
16.
Gee,
19.
28. Your Pip is rolling straight rocks over here. You notice as you do that in the kind of the dark sky, because it's very dark, because the rain's kind of coming down harder. You notice this huge rock heading straight towards the wall, and then not a second later, it just crashes into the wall and just splinters. Like everything, just like the wall starts falling apart and rocks flying everywhere. The crowd just starts freaking out, running around all over the place. And then you hear boom, another rock coming from like more north, and boom, another rock even more north, and it just pelts.
Thalnar, protect us with your tower shield.
So just like these huge boulders are being chucked, and the wall is starting to get shredded, and you keep hearing this woo, this horn just booming over and over again. Woo, and then off into the distance around you, you see boom, 1 flame, boom, 2 flames, boom, 3 flames, and you notice they're torches, and they're all running straight towards you guys. And then, boom, we're done for today. That's it.
Oh my god.
Well, it's about to be some Lord of the Rings Two Towers shit right now.
Let's have the whole city behind the tower shield. They're all gonna kill themselves anyway. It's not gonna matter.
We need you.
Like he didn't rig the walls.
Well, he just make it worse. He'd blow everything up. He's not one who builds things. He's one who destroys things.
Well, he rigs the walls with trip mines or something.
To prevent the orcs from getting in?
Yeah.
What? You don't know that they're orcs.
Oh, yeah. It's an orc
They're
farm.
done.
Didn't I just say that? I'm
Yeah.
like, that sounds
Remember,
like
you guys are in orc territory. What else would it be? So...
Elves?
oh, yeah. Elves
Nobody likes
are
elves.
attacking this.
It's true.
Alright.
It'd be
I'm
golden.
gonna cut off the video here.